you check the children.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Marcia.
And we're here to talk spoilers for Halloween Ends. Let's just get right to it, okay? So the movie starts off, the sour note that we were talking about in our review was this note at the beginning where it's 2019, a year after everything that happened in Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. And it's this family who, the mom and dad are about to go on a night on the town on Halloween, go to a Halloween party just up the street, no less. A young man named Corey shows up to babysit your son. Anyone that's been following Halloween Ends in the PR ahead of time knows that there is a supposed copycat Michael Myers and that it might be this Corey character. That was all spoiled ahead of time for a lot of people.
Oh, really? Was it?
Yep. So as soon as I saw Corey, I'm like, oh, that's the guy that's going to become a Michael Myers. And hey, I was right.
Yeah.
And everyone else was right too, but we'll get there. So anyway, before all that happens, this Corey shows up to babysit this kid. Must be how old? What was he? 9, 10?
8 or 9, maybe.
Yeah, 8 or 9-year-old kid, and he is like obsessed with, really scared about Michael Myers and stuff, and he's just kind of a dick kid, because when they're watching a movie, it seems like the guy's being a nice enough, Corey's being a nice enough babysitter, and the kid just like shits on him.
For no reason.
Yeah,
it was
it's
like
just
out of
like,
nowhere.
He's like, hey,
You're scared.
Michael Myers is still out there, and he's like, and he only kills the babysitters, and the guy's like, you know what, you're gonna go to bed in 5 minutes, and he's like, I don't even like you, he's just a little shithead to him, and so he runs away, and he goes and fucking hides from this guy. This guy's starting to get more and more scared, because he does know that Michael Myers is still out there. He's getting more and more freaked out. He checks this little closet room upstairs, and then
the attic.
It's kind of the attic, yeah, it's the
exactly.
way up to the attic,
Yeah.
at least. And the door gets shut on him by the kid, and the kid's like taunting him from outside of the room, and the door's locked, and the babysitter can't get out, so he fucking kicks the door and kicks it where the door knocks into the kid, and they're on like the 3rd story of this home. It hits the kid, and then it just cuts to the bottom when the parents walk in. The parents walk in, and in that shot, the parents are in the background, and in the foreground, this fucking body just hits.
Yeah.
And it's the fucking kid smashing the ground 3 stories down after tumbling over the banister. And, it's just this 9-year-old kid that just fucking snaps in half and just bleeds out on the floor.
Face was smashed.
Face
from
completely
the door.
smashed in. And the parents, are holding him. Their son is fucking dead. And they look up to this guy that, didn't mean to do it. And that's that's the beginning of the movie. And then we flash forward, I guess, another 3 years, because that's where they don't really indicate it.
Yeah, it was 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, where the kid, because the kid, the guy, the babysitter was taken away, and he's out and about again.
Yeah, because he got discharged, I think, for...
Right, well, but again, we don't know that officially. We just see him out and about. He's working at a junkyard with apparently his father.
Or
stepfather or something, yeah. So he's living there, and...
An ashamed life. Everybody calls him the kid killer, even though it was
a complete
100%
accident.
an accident. Even though, how dumb are you? You're not a cure. I'm sorry, but you're still not a cure for cancer. If the guy was kicking that door.
Yeah.
For minutes. He had 6 or 7 good kicks in it.
Before,
and you're gonna
and he's just gonna stand right in front of the door. Yeah, no, dumb kid. It's his own fault.
Stupid kid. But anyway,
yeah.
here. Sorry.
So he's out and about, and somehow, the movie picks up, right? Lori, it's actually a really nice intro with Lori's voiceover as she's writing her book, saying she's moved beyond, even though Michael's still out there, she's trying to live her life. She's gotten rid of the survivalist shit, she doesn't have her house rigged. She bought a new house with Allison, and they're trying to move on with their lives. Meanwhile, Allison meets this guy that killed the kid, while he's out and about, and she takes him as a project, she starts to go out with him,
I don't even think it was a project. They generally just thought he was cute and wanted and then realized who he was and was
well,
whatever.
But she said, she told him, she's like, I understand what you're going through, because people look at me different too and stuff. They have that little discussion on the side of the road.
Relate to him.
Well, anyway, it blossoms into this fucking weird romance where she's falling for him as he like so in the future, 4 years in the future, he's getting like bullied by this group of 4 fucking students.
Band students.
Yeah, band students. Right, yeah.
I'm like, what?
Okay.
Why is the
Not
band?
how that would work, but all right. Apparently he letters in bands because he's wearing a Letterman jacket. So anyway, yeah, this group of 4 like bully him all the time, and he's like Bruce Banner, like, don't make me angry, and then he like just chills. Right, because Laurie steps in, and so he doesn't have to go fucking buck wild on him. So at one point, they confront him, and they fucking throw him over a bridge. He falls down below next to the drain pipe where Michael's been hiding out. Michael pulls him in, doesn't do anything to him. When he wakes up, he just tries to run away, and then Michael grabs him through the thing. There's footage in the trailer of this where he's holding him and looking at him through this little hole in the sewer area. And he basically looks in Corey's eyes and like sees the trauma that he's been through, and is like, "All right, bro, you're good.
Yeah,
you know, like
you're fine.
I think you're gonna be the next me. We got to pass on the legacy to someone. So you're good. You're good." So he lets him go, and he bolts, and he leaves the sewer, and then he's confronted by this homeless guy who's been there and apparently knows that Michael's been there. He takes people in, and they don't come out, kind of thing. Which they never really say how Michael's been surviving for 4 years in the sewer.
Right.
They don't even allude, like maybe there was some dead rat bodies or something that I didn't see, but they don't even really tell you.
Yeah.
But he's still wearing everything. He's still fucked up from the battle. He hasn't changed anything about himself, and he's, I guess, more frail at this point. But anyway, so the dude is confronted by the homeless man who pulls a knife on him, and then in that stupid movie trope where like the 2 people come together and you hear a stabbing sound and you're like, oh, who got stabbed? Like, we don't actually know that it's going to be the fucking homeless guy. Why are we trying to hide this? It's not going to be the kid.
Right.
So, the kid stabs the homeless guy a couple times and realizes he kind of likes it. So, he starts to go fucking nuts, and he starts, basically killing the people that have wronged him and Allison.
Yeah, he asked Michael for mentorship. So they end up killing people together, and he's, like, watching him work. Teach me. I'm
yeah,
like,
he literally says, "Show me how to stab someone." Like,
show me how you do it. He's like, what?
He's
this?
like, yeah. You watching? Like, it's pretty. Slash,
like,
stabby, slashy.
Like, you want to go kill some people? Let's go.
Yeah,
like,
let's team up and shit. So, so of course
stupid.
they decide to track down and kill this rival nurse to Allison's up for a promotion. Yeah. And this slutty redheaded nurse sleeps with the doctor to get the promotion instead. So of course Corey tracks down, and he uses his own mask for the first kill, right? Yeah. He kills the doctor, and then he tries to kill the nurse, but she shuts the door, and then instead Michael steps out of the darkness inside the house, and that's when he pins her to the wall, like you can see in the trailer.
Right.
So,
because he doesn't like sluts.
They've teamed up. Yeah, of course.
He doesn't like sluts.
I mean, bitch, right?
He doesn't like it. That's why he killed his sister and all the sluts after.
True. Misbehaving women, got to put them in their place.
Like, wow, Jerry.
And their place is stuck to a wall with a butcher knife.
Yeah. Your legs closed, lady.
So, that all happens, and Laurie sees this guy pick up Allison at one point and like sees his fucking... First off, he freaks her out because he stands next to a hedge. Right. And like she sees him through the window. She introduces him to Allison.
Right.
Like literally she's on board for this, and suddenly it changes when he stands next to a fucking hedge.
Well, he stands because next his to a eyes hedge. Change.
No, but she, not at first. At first he's just standing next to a hedge, and she's like freaked out, and then she goes downstairs and she's like, and he's gone. He's not by the hedge. He's disappeared, but he's right behind her. And then she turns around. She's like, "Oh my god!" And then he's just like, "Hey, is Allison here?" And she looks in his eyes and is like, "Oh, you're evil now." Yeah. Like he's literally like, it's so nonsensical. It's so nonsensical. And so she sees that he's evil now, and she like starts to freak out, and she's like not really sure, so she lets Allison still hang out with him, sees that she like pulls him up to bed one night and shit, and she's just like, "I don't think you should be seeing him anymore," and like she tries to confront him about it, him who's laying in the blood stain where the kid fucking died in this house that the family no longer lives in. He has taken up residence in and is basically sleeping on the bloodstain. It's just the weirdest fucking shit. So anyway, he starts to kill and teams up with Michael. And
why wouldn't you lead with that if you were her? Like, hey, Allison, like, there's something really wrong with this guy. I found him lying in the death spot of the kid he killed and, like, peacefully sleeping.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that's a red flag. Why don't we start there?
Believe me, yeah. So,
anyway.
when it gets to a stupid fucking fake moment that's manufactured and even pulled back, like, immediately, right? Like, Allison leaves and then comes back in the third act. So, we'll get there. But just as a quick side note, the thing I didn't talk about yet were the pumpkin opening.
Oh, yeah.
So what they do is there's a pumpkin and it starts to get closer to the camera and then it splits and another pumpkin emerges and starts getting closer to the camera, and then it splits, and another pumpkin emerges and gets closer to the camera. But every time they do, like, the pumpkin starts from another direction, so it's like this. It's like, the first one's like, pumpkin. And then the next one splits, and it's like, pumpkin. And then the next one splits, and it's like, pumpkin. And then the next one splits, and it's like, pumpkin. And it just gets so dumb because they're, like, turning from a different direction every time. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
With the back of the pumpkin. There's like no.
Yeah, the end is like, pumpkin ass! Isn't this scary?
I'm like, why don't we finish? I thought the whole point was, like, at first, like, oh, are they going through all the different pumpkins from all the different series? It's kind of cool.
Oh, that would have been smart. No, that's not what it was.
No, it wasn't. I thought they're going to end with, like, the original. I was like, wait, I thought was that the original pumpkin? And then I started, like, I don't remember what did the original pumpkin look like? And that's what I was thinking for that whole, like, 30 minutes to watch that intro for.
Okay, so back to it. I think we're basically at the third act, where basically what happens is, so Lori and Allison have this confrontation where Allison's like wanting to leave town with Corey, and Lori's like, no, you shouldn't do that. And Allison's like, whatever, you don't support me in anything, and fucking leaves. And then Lori goes up to her fucking office and, like, is sitting there and kind of looks in the hallway or whatever. And then's like, oh, distraught, pulls out a fucking gun from a little hand safe, her revolver, calls 911, supposedly, and is like, yes, I'd like to report a suicide. It's at this, and this. And she, like, stands up and she holds the gun to her head and then, like, steps out of view of the camera, and we cut to the hallway, and we hear bang and a splat. And then this was actually POV. There was POV. You see his hand reach up and push the closet open. So yes. So at this point, oh, by the way, just before this happens, Corey goes to the sewer and fucking manhandles Michael. Fucking manhandles Michael.
Scrawny ass kid.
Manhandles Michael and then pulls his mask off and is like, later, loser, and fucking just takes off.
Michael can't get up. He's like, oh, I'm an old man.
Yeah.
Like,
well, at first he's like, and then he leaves, and then he's like, wait, you're not here? Sit up. You know?
He's just like, what the fuck? Like,
Didn't make any. It's so inconsistent.
Like, no.
But yeah, literally, he's like,
You
give me
stole
that
my
mask,
mask.
bitch. I'm out of here, you know?
Yeah,
and so he
like,
takes the
why?
mask.
Yes,
And because
Daddy.
of course he works at the junkyard, he's got a mechanic's outfit.
Yeah.
So he's got
He's
the
been
full.
wearing it the whole
He's got
time.
the full fucking thing.
Yeah, he's
So
ready.
that's when he goes, and so yes, Lori does the suicide thing. He pushes open the door. Well, someone pushes open the door, and then she fucking, you really think I killed myself, bitch? And then, like, shoots him twice.
Yeah.
And he stumbles
He
through
falls.
the banister.
He falls.
He
3
falls,
stories.
but only,
No,
well,
I'm
it's
kidding.
not the same room, right?
I know.
So it's
Well, I was
one
joking.
story.
It's
Just
one
one story
story.
instead. But yeah, he falls down below, and she fucking goes down, and is like, fuck you, you stupid motherfucker. What am I, dumb? You know? And she actually shoots off the rest of her rounds super smartly.
I don't
And
know
then
why.
she's
'Cause,
like, go
"No,
ahead, try and kill me.
She'll never be with you or whatever. And he's like, fine. And
He's like, if I can't have her, no one can. And then
he
he just kills himself. Like, wait, that's incongruous with what you just said, though.
Like, she could definitely go bang somebody up now.
Yeah,
You're
now,
dead.
what do you mean? If you
She's
can't,
still alive.
if you can't have her, I mean,
Like-
no, you can't have her now. You're dead, and now
Like,
anyone
even
can have
if you
her.
blame, even if she
It's
blames
so
Lori,
dumb.
which she did.
Yeah, it's
like,
so dumb.
It doesn't stop her from banging other people. Like,
So yeah, of course. So
Anyway.
okay, so
And then Lori grabs the knife. Like,
yeah,
why?
so he stabs himself in the neck and falls over, and then Laura's like, no, and then like reaches in and pulls the knife out because she's okay, look. In their own context, Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, she's a survivalist, right?
Right.
She knows how to kill things. She knows how to stab him to fucking bleed him out in the end of this movie.
Right.
Does she not know that pulling the knife out of the neck is the worst fucking thing you can do? Because all it's going to do is let the artery gush everything out. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, Lori's suddenly super stupid after 4 years away from survivalism. She pulls the knife out, and the fucking guy bleeds out. But of course, not before Allison walks in the door and sees her holding the knife and is like, how could you do this? And then fucking bolts again. And, like, that's the most manufactured... dramatic bullshit moment. Like, she knows there's no way her grandmother would just randomly kill a guy.
Right.
Just to, you know, like, what the fuck?
Just like, so she would stay forever. Like, you can't leave me. What is she, single white female all of a sudden? Like, no.
So dumb, dude. So she leaves, and while Laurie is sitting there, like, whining about it, the real Michael Myers comes in, picks up the mask that Laurie took off the kid, and then goes to grab the knife, and, like, there's a jump scare where the kid is suddenly still alive again. Yeah. Even though he's already bled out, he's like, still alive.
Well, he's got Michael powers now.
I guess, but he's like...
Michael Myers
he, like,
powers.
tries to stop Michael, and then Michael...
Like, just handles him.
Does he... What does he do to him?
He just stabs him.
Oh, yeah, he just stabs him over and over again. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, again, stabby. And so Laurie tries to take advantage of this, and that's when they have that brief, very brief confrontation that was actually shown in the trailer, where he tosses her around the kitchen a little bit, and then she fucking pins him to the cutting board table in the center of the kitchen.
Right.
And...
puts a refrigerator on him.
Drops the refrigerator on him to make him immobile. Allison comes back just in time to see that Michael Myers is back, and then Laurie just fucking...
all is forgiven.
Cuts his throat. Actually, no, she cuts his throat and he starts to bleed out. Then Allison comes back and sees, and then he rips his hand free of the knife that's pinned him and is, like, gonna choke out Laurie, and Laurie's like, fine, do it, choke me out.
That's when Allison showed up.
That's when Allison shows up and stops, knocks the arm away.
Breaks his arm. Now she's super strong.
Right, breaks his arm. Laurie's gingerly handling the hand that was split in half, and then she just fucking slits his wrist. Yeah. And so he bleeds out two different ways, I guess.
Yeah, because he still has to be bleeding out
from his neck. Yeah.
And you forgot the side.
The side, too, yeah, bleeding out from the side because she stabbed him like a stuck pig. Again, her survivalism, she knows what's up there, but didn't know not to pull the knife out of the dude's neck and look like a fucking murderer and put her hands all over the fucking murder weapon. But nonetheless, so yeah.
Cry like a baby for a reason. No, why is this happening to me?
Yeah, so then the police show up. Will Patton shows up, still leading the police, and they walk in and see Laurie and Allison, and he's like, it's Michael. And then they they call the entire town apparently off camera because there's a fucking 4th of July neighborhood car parade. Of everyone in town, they ratchet strap into the top of the fucking their car,
like he's Bigfoot.
And they're leading, literally in fucking Harry and the Hendersons, literally Bigfoot strapped to the car. They drive to the junkyard, and then so the whole town gathers right in this little crowd, and then they loosen Michael from the ratchet straps. And then they fucking gingerly crowd surf him. They gingerly crowd surf Michael Myers like he's Superman in that fucking Zack Snyder movie. Or like he's fucking Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2 and they're passing him over after the subway scene. Literally, they gingerly pass Michael's body into the basin of a massive fucking industrial grinder. Laurie gets up, steps in, and then... in one of the coolest moments of the movie, because look, if you're going to be definitive about it being Halloween Ends, this is the way to do it. She fucking rolls his body into this industrial grinder, and it starts going down, and there's this big fucking gush of blood, and then you see his fucking head just pop and crumble and just get sucked into the grinder, never cutting away from the body once. So I was appreciative of that. Yeah. Like, at least that was a cool moment, and it's like, Michael is not coming back. The whole town saw it happen, so hopefully they're going to fucking ease up on Laurie from this point forward. And then at that point, after that, You know, everyone's healing. Allison leaves Haddonfield because that's what she wanted to do the whole time, even though she wanted to do it with her serial killer boyfriend instead. And Lori stays back, and Will Patton shows up, drops her off a bunch of phallic vegetables, by the way. A bunch of carrots and fucking cucumbers.
He's trying to
It's like,
figure out-
here, you're going to have some time to yourself, so let me make sure you're going to be able to stay
Here's your
busy.
vegetables.
Yeah, and make a salad, wink, wink, you know. So anyway,
I'll bring the dressing.
maybe that was just me that noticed that, but it was a
I didn't
really,
think about that.
it
But
was
yeah.
a really oddly presented box.
Well, they had that whole talk in the grocery store where she's like, "You need to eat some vegetables."
Oh, that was,
That
yeah,
was
that's
why.
probably what it was.
Yeah, that's what it
Look,
was.
there's cabbage. There's non-phallic vegetables out there. I'm just saying.
Well, he wanted to make a salad. He's bringing the dressing. We just talked about this.
He's bringing the dressing. Okay, fair enough.
Oh Lord.
So-
they're
so,
gonna go
yeah.
They're going to Japan. They're gonna look at the cherry blossoms at
Yeah.
the end.
So they fucking sit next to each other, yeah, and they're gonna go and hang out,
And
and
everyone.
then
is
kids
happy.
ride by on a bicycle.
She still has
and-
Michael's mask though.
Yeah, she kept Michael's mask, and then they like fucking, because she said, you know, the last line is that evil doesn't die; it just changes shape.
So
So
they still do
is she
leave it
gonna be the
open.
fucking psycho
They-
now
they
because she
still
kept his
open-
mask?
Right, like it's still open.
yeah.
Like they killed him. Oh, he's dead. But here's a loophole just in case.
Anyway, it was dumb.
We want to make a whole new
It was so
trilogy
dumb.
to replace.
It was
this
so
one.
dumb, dude.
It wasn't a good. It wasn't a good movie.
It was
wasn't even a good
just as bad
Halloween
as
movie.
Kills, just for different reasons. Like Kills, I liked all the Michael Myers stuff, and it was just all the town stuff I liked. In this, I liked even less of it. Like there was that moment at the end when he gets pushed into a meat grinder, but everything else was just like, why?
I liked Kills for the fact that it felt kind of like Halloween 2 or 3 or whatever, the continuance story of the hospital, you know, of the original series. And then I was like, okay, it's not great, but it feels closer to home. And then this was just, I don't know what this was. It was like like I told you in the car, I was like, it felt like I was rewatching the last episode of Seinfeld and was like, what the fuck was that? Like, you didn't know what to do, so you just,
Yeah.
like, splooged all over the screen and
I
made
honestly,
me watch it?
I couldn't picture the boardroom where people were like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do that. Oh, and let's also do that. Oh, and let's also do that.
Everyone
Like, it
was asleep in that meeting and throughout this whole filming of this movie.
It was
Like,
bad, you guys. It was really bad.
And I feel bad because, like, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis is an icon. This movie, this franchise is iconic. And
2018 was good. Like, it was genuinely enjoyable, I
yeah,
thought.
and then it's like, what is this stuff? Like, they didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
It's like they had no end vision when they started this, and that's what we ended. Like, this is what happens when you don't have a vision.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
and that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
And I feel robbed because if that's the last time I'm going to see Jamie Lee Curtis
And Michael Myers.
Myers, I might as well just stick to the original.
Honest to God,
Or-
I'll rewatch H2O before I rewatch
Thank
this
you.
trilogy ever again.
Yeah, I was talking about H2O today. Like,
H2O was a better version of this story.
yeah.
Straight up. Jamie Lee had was better acting in it. Like had a more realistic arc. Anyway, we don't need to fucking litigate
And it was
that.
a slashy with interesting
Yeah.
kills. It was.
Agreed.
I mean,
It was a Halloween movie.
The 90s was really good at slashers because it had the great balance between comedy, horror, and surprise, and they were able to it was fun, and they
Yeah.
made it fun.
Yeah.
And this was not fun.
I agree.
This was very not fun. I wanted to leave within the first act. I wanted to leave, but I was like, no, I got to finish this. I have to do a review. So.
Look, I'm with you.
Sorry. I'm sorry. And it's sad to me because I'm supposed to like it.
Look, you can't force yourself to like things that are bad. And
Yeah,
there's
I
no
cannot.
sense in acting fake about stuff.
No.
You know what I mean? So
No.
So I think that's going to do it for our thoughts on all the spoiler stuff. We did not stay through the credits in case there was a fucking end credit scene.
No, we
so
left.
forgive us. I was not staying. I wanted to get back and start drinking before we did this review. So
Yeah.
thank you guys very much for sticking through it. If you've watched this far, thank you to all of our patrons. for supporting the channel the way that you do.
Thank you.
We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. For those of you that have seen the movie, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Feel free to spoil. This is a whole spoiler review, so I'd love to know your thoughts on all the things that we bumped up against, and did you bump up against anything else, or did you love it all? Be greatly interested to see y'all's opinions. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Marcia Parker.
And remember,
Stay
scared.
scared.